Let's make a new pair of socks. Cozy, soft, and warm. And using only 2 single-pointed needles. Let's take a look at this design a little bit. Overall, it appears to be very similar to most knit socks. The difference is that there is a seam, and we want to adjust our design in such a way that the seam blends into the work and is not uncomfortable to wear. You want to put in your foot and not feel uncomfortable when you wear this sock. There are designs that place the sock on the edge, so you have 2 sewn seams, and we'll look at those later. This project will have 1 seam going down the back of the sock, and the whole project will be worked with 2 single-pointed needles. You can adjust the size of the sock by adjusting the number of rows and stitches. This sock measures 21 centimeters from the tip of the toes to the tip of the heel turn. On instep, it measures 12 centimeters from the gusset to the shaping for the toes. If you use the same material, the same needle size, and the same number of stitches and rounds, you're going to get this sock size, which will be suitable for someone who will wear a shoe size 8 to 10 women's US sizes, or 38 to 40 European shoe sizes. You will want to try this on as you work so that you adjust the length to best fit your foot. For used socks, this is also a good size if you're making something for someone younger in your family or your friends circle or your friends' families. If you wanted to make a child's sock, you will want to decrease both the number of rows as well as the number of stitches. We'll work on a child's sock project in the future. Now, the yarn I'm going to use is a blend of 20% wool and 80% acrylic. While I absolutely love 100% wool socks, I also wanted to make a pair that's going to be easily worn and thrown into the washer. So these will be like my spring slippers when the chilly spring mornings arrive and I want to put something on my feet, but I don't necessarily want to wear house shoes. These can serve as that purpose, and they can be washed easily in the washer and dryer without losing their size and shape. The needle size recommended for this yarn is 5 millimeters. So I'm going to use these, which are 3.5 millimeters. So when you read the recommended size on your yarn, if it's not sock yarn, it's going to give you an average needle size for various projects. You always want to gauge a sample knitting, and after that sample, I realized that using a 5 millimeter needle will just make it too loose for a sock. So I tried a few swatches for gauge, and I landed on 3.5 millimeters. With this wool blend that is called Wool Ease, and it's made by Lion Brand Yarns. It feels very soft and very gentle and will make a very comfortable sock to wear. Now, remember, only 2 needles will be used on this project, so there will be some compromises in the design, and that is okay. I do hope that they will inspire you to give sock knitting a try if, for example, you're intimidated by the use of many needles. Let's now cast on. This was a long intro, but I wanted you to see the project and to know where we're going. We're going to cast on from the cuff. We will cast on 48 stitches, and then we will work this stitch that is not a rib. It will be very lovely to fold over without it being as tight as a rib cuff would be. The stitch is worked 2 knit 2 purl for 2 rows, and then you switch. It's a little bit like a mini chessboard stitch. So let's begin. Casting on. So now I have 48 stitches. I am ready to start the first row of the cuff. Few things to watch out for. If you did not start with long enough tail of your yarn, you may have to start over. Do not try to squeeze in and have halfway done stitches. It's not worth sacrificing proper cast off at this part of the sock because it is a very important part of the sock. It's always going to be visible and you want it to be pretty and nice. Also, leave a long tail. Do not trim it short. This long tail is what we will use to sew beautifully the seam where our sock cuff will connect so that it does not have a chunky edge there, but comes together blending in nicely and folds over beautifully for the sock. All right, practice casting on, and in the next video you will see step-by-step cuff knitting.